Bum, 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 ba-da-da-da, bum, bum. Well, hello there, social media family. Man, of any subscribers and or visitors alike, of any persons among yourselves who are supposed to be affiliated or associated with and or representing my own particular YouTube social media channel and or chat room. I myself, I'm sorry if I'm kind of like looking as if I person am either some kind of a relative or friend of Jay-Z, with my hairstyle that is. Then I have been feeling quite up on the weather lately, most recently, and I have had to pay a visit to the nearest or local medical facility for its premises properties of a neighborhood community hospital for that some of such a given moment in time. And regardless of whether or not my person were to have to do some such follow-up at a local vicinity area neighborhood community clinic, affiliated, associated with, and are representing the same of the said in question, and or likewise being of the former prison province. But then, how are you all doing? And how are your family members and friends? Hopefully, all is well with you and yours, and me and mine. Or hopefully, I feel much better than what I felt like last, or I still feel up under the weather. And whereas I have just so little time to try to make it to a scheduled medical clinic appointment. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cancel it because I really don't feel up to it at the moment. Yes, because I have now just about an hour. That is a time frame period from an hour to an hour and a half to get there. And here I am broadcasting social media content of a video broadcast for you all. And knowing that I have to make it to this medical clinic appointment that has been scheduled or canceled. May just have to do that in the latter and try to rush out here. And these here cold weather temps of Mother Nature. And whether I'm feeling sick as a dog up on the weather enough as it is already, regardless of whether or not certain neighbors, especially the main one being of a neighbor from down hell, among my present public nuisance problem may be being of a local drug pusher. Whom I have my suspicions could not just practically could possibly be the root cause, the main one responsible for the way that my person I'm feeling like now. And disregard or ignore bam rumbles upstairs of another cycle from the neighbor from down hell. To be compared on to the drug pusher down the hall from me, a few apartment doors down from my own apartment on the same floor level of the building here. Whereas at one time or another, I was up under the impression that he was supposed to be moving out after I had witnessed as I peeked through the peephole of my apartment door, some as touch of his homies moving a little furniture out of his atmosphere of a place of residence for his friends, probably the apartment. Only to find out that it's not necessarily that being the case of situation, whereas he could have possibly just have been attempting to pull the wool over my ass to make me think that he's moving out so that I can let my guards down, so that he himself with his creepy, cowardly, faggotty self could possibly have, even bigger plans of 2-cent power plays to come against me with, as he himself has attempted to make my life a living damn hell for the longest. From following him as in stalking me into the business office of the management of administrative real estate representative personnel, whereas all I'm going in there to do is to try to renew my apartment rental lease. Although I was having misgivings about it, being that because of him, then whereas from there, he himself had attempted to flip the script and make it seem like he himself is the victim of prey, and I myself otherwise am the predator parasite. Two at one time or another. He himself was sitting on the stoop outside the building in the dead of night, attempting to spook me, threatening my life verbally, implying what he could have done to me physically, be it with the help of homies of his, of accomplices in crime or not, to extremely violently, physically attack my person. So I had to dial the emergency number 911 for the police to, state my grievances, to report that one hate crime of a civil or human rights violation offense in his own right. To how at one time or another he damn near, excuse my language, rode his bicycle or bike, to simply say, into my person in a physical way, where he himself was only a couple few inches away from my physical human body, where he rode up behind me, then rode alongside of me upon one of my sides of my physical body, and didn't bother to say excuse me. So they told me right then and there that was not any accident. He had done that on purpose. He deliberately had premeditated that 2-cent power play of a hate crime in his own right. So I had to call the police on him for that. Two at one time or another, whereas he himself is, running down the sidewalk behind me, and as I'm trying to think to become a part of the ridership of the mass transit and public transportation system with all of its many different bus and train routes for its premises properties, namely the train station right across the street from the building here where we're at, and where he run down the sidewalk. In back of me, behind my person, with one hand in his coat or jacket pocket, regardless of whatever the season of the year was, whether temperature would have been for the winter or for the summer. And whereas I'm having to take a detour as and change my mind and catch a bus much rather than instead of a train, then I call the police on him for that. Two at one time or another, whereas for that last mention, I think I was trying to get to a hospital, whereas still for some such other time, I was coming back from a hospital. Yeah, I say, to he himself, standing in the front entrance or exitway of the building while I'm trying to, call it a night, get back to my place of residence, was the atmosphere of an apartment that I pay annual monthly rent, utilities, etc. Whereas from there, I'm having to take a detour as in change my mind and try to think to enter the building from one of two back doors, whereas he himself must have ran from the front to the back of the building, because I barely made it into my apartment and closed and locked my apartment door, and whereas he would go in and out of one or two back doors more than the other one, mainly or mostly, or that much more than one next to my apartment door, regardless of the lock mechanism being jammed and needing repairs, whereas he himself would prop something in between the door and the border to make sure that he can come and go as easily as he pleased, as much as he could, enter and exit the building via the other back door, being which needs not any repairs, then because his lock mechanism is all right, as a person, any tenant upon this floor level in the building can or could possibly just stick one's building key into some or such, and then go to one's apartment or place of residence, and and call it a day or a night for whatever given moment of time. Sometimes sooner, sometimes later, depending on what the weather's temp is like and what business matters for one's own personal survival, that has to be taken care of. But anyway, though, here it is. He's standing outside my apartment door, threatened my life verbally, talking out the side of his neck, talking crazy, misbehaving like he himself is about to kick my apartment door in a physical way. And whereas I barely managed to get off an emergency telephone call to the police, regardless of how my cell phone was dying, and at the same time I was recharging it. You know, this character is something else, main drug pushing. To think that he himself has the audacity and nerve to say, to attempt to flip the script or to attempt to, play a different angle to make like he's one of the good guys now. Like I'm supposed to, just that soon, effective immediately, forget all the living damn hell he has put me through. And especially as I suspect he himself has trespassed my private properties or placed me in an apartment. Even while I'm here, whereas it would be bad enough if he were to do that when I'm gone from the building, trying to take care of some necessary business now for my own personal survival, and to think that he himself could have possibly trespassed my private properties while I'm trying to call in the night or think to do so, and could have done something to me personally while I was sleeping, between the night and the night, and being a witch could be some of such the main reason why I myself, a person of my same self, am feeling quite up under the weather lately. Most recently, once again, for the umpteenth consecutive time, extremely circumstances of a case or situation up under conditions to be possibly considered, whereas it's like I'm making a hospital, any hospital that I could frequent more than any other ones, in medical clinics at that, like a second home away from home. And so much for that conversation. Dialogue. And moving right on. And to get to the original subject matter, the topic of discussion to be debated, or that being of a given argument with the many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing some such deal, regardless of whether or not I myself could still have a mind to try to make it to this scheduled medical clinic appointment or just cancel. Anyway, the present social media broadcast being as it is, of video content as we have it, is about the black male character of wussy pussy jelly palate of a Peter Pan fairy, a self-confessed gay guy, homo, faggot. You know, the one that had damn near caused a race riot to develop up north here in the Midwest, and for that being which is for the city limits of metropolitan Chicago, Illinois, USA. It damn near caused a race riot statewide and nationwide, for that matter, for his bogus name, illegally fraudulent claim that a bunch of racist redneck white boys had assaulted or physically attacked him in a most extreme, violent kind of way, whereas that was not the case for a situation. See, this character of a black male, he noticed that, the TV show that he's affiliated, associated with, and representing wasn't getting so much favorable reviews and good publicity as he had wished, and it was down in the ratings for a television audience. So he decided that he himself would fabricate, a hate crime incident in his attempt to boost the ratings, and then from there to add insult to injury, whereas this black male character has the audacity, the nerve to simply say, to appear in court as it was mandated, or as he himself was subpoenaed to do so, and then claim that he himself is innocent, that it was not a scheme or a scam of that nature, but that he supposedly, literally, and or actually had gotten assaulted or physically attacked in an extreme, violent way by the likes of racist redneck white boys, closet-klan, and closet, Nazis, whereas that was not the case or situation. I always had my suspicion that something wasn't right with his claim or his given argument, and what is hid in the dark shall come to light. But now, here it is, after he had wasted American taxpayers' money, having an investigation done to consider whether or not a hate crime had been perpetrated against him, whereas it was not. But here it is, our own Illinois Supreme Court of Justices, or judges, had overturned his conviction. And I'm like saying, are you freaking kidding me? Why would you go and do a fool thing like that? Meaning that he does not have to serve any more jail time, and it will not show up in the future as a criminal record against him. I'm like, wow, talk about pulling a rabbit out of one's hat. Being of a master magician or master mason, for that matter. I mean, I wonder, did he make a Masonic lodge sign to the judge or something? I mean, what gives? Like, man, he should have been rotting in the can or the crazy house for that matter, or both of those count. He shouldn't have gotten off so easily like that. And I'm wondering, how does that, fit in with the narrative, or is she still the attorney general or not? Kim Fox, because at one time or another she was putting off the investigation of his criminally illegal claim. And here it is now, our own Illinois Supreme Court has overturned his conviction. Like I said before, so I say again, let me paraphrase and not quote exactly, or reiterate or repeat myself. And I hate to repeat myself, especially when it comes to something so stupid and sick. But he does not have to do any more jail time. Neither nor will it show up in the future as a criminal record conviction against him. So I'm like, wow. I mean, who did he have to sleep with, to manage that, to get nothing much more than just a slap on the wrist. And after wasting American taxpayers' money investigating as to whether or not a hate crime has been permitted, has been to investigate whether or not a hate crime has been perpetrated, is what I meant to say. Sorry about that. And that's all I have to say on the matter. I'm closing out by saying, if you have not gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins. I recognize, realizing what he himself had done on the cross of Calvary. On the hill of Golgotha, as he was crucified by Roman soldiers between two thieves, and as the Roman soldiers were up on the orders of religious Pharisees and Sadducees, so that you don't have to go to hell, but so that you can become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. You so be blessed down here upon the planet Earth, and hopefully bless others by sharing with them the gospel message of salvation. We all take care. We are peace.